Hi, this is Brian too. It's May 16, 2017. I woke up at approximately 14:20 hours. It's called sleep deprivation, and sleep deprivation also includes the altering of sleep cycles. When I woke up, ears ringing, head and ears and pulsating, pain, and more acoustic trauma to my ears. It's always in increments. The victim eventually dies. They kill him. But trauma-based mind control, that's not how it works. It works in increments because they're using trauma to map out the physical and psychological. They're using physical and psychological trauma to map out the sensory and neural pathways of the victim's brain and central nervous system as they build a cognitive model of the victim's brain, a copycat. By reverse engineering the will, intellect, and emotion of the victim, they create a copycat twin personality of the victim inside the remote neural networks of their brain, of their supercomputers, to achieve direct behavioral control over the victim. I woke up, my heart was racing, felt like it was going to explode out of my chest. I don't know how they're doing it. I'm taking beta blockers. Doctors are prescribing me beta blockers. I've got the beta blockers. It's called Nabila. I don't know if you can see that. It's called Nabila. Anyway, 10 milligrams of beta blockers, and they're still causing my heart to just vibrate so rapidly. It feels like it's just going to explode out of my chest. My heart was racing this morning. And it's every single day, every single night when I wake up. Very, very crucially important that the trauma-based mind control victim feel the slow kill. Because this technology is so sophisticated, they can target all they have to, and it depends on timing and location. The technology is so sophisticated, people just can't believe that it exists. A computer multiplexer routes the signal to a tower, satellite, or mobile platform, and the tower, satellite, or mobile platform relays the signal to the digital receiver, similar to how cell phone technology works. The digital receiver is tracked and pinpointed in real time, just like a cell phone, because this technology depends on timing and location. Except with CIA and DI mind control technologies, the digital receiver is not a phone, it's a human brain. They have digitalized the brain of the victim by the nanotechnology they had the victim ingest in their food or their water, breathe in the form of smart dust, etc. The nanotechnology then migrates through the bloodstream to the brain and adheres to the neurotransmitters in the victim's brain, and then speaks to and decodes those neurotransmitters through a process called directed energy flashing, photons, transcranial brain stimulation. And they're using trauma to do that. And it's slow kill, soft kill, or at least it has been up to this point with me. It's been going on for 20 years. And they moved me from state-of-the-art mind control to trauma-based mind control in 2011 after I filed a federal lawsuit against them for it. Began naming in Louisville, Kentucky. I didn't know what was going on, couldn't understand how this was happening to me, so I just started filing a lawsuit naming every single person I thought was involved and every single organization that I thought was involved, and that was just to get them on record. They totally dismissed that, but there's a record. But the point is, right after that, they moved me from state-of-the-art mind control in 2011 to trauma-based mind control, and it has been brutal torture ever since, with specific emphasis on my ears, my head, my brain, and my cardiovascular system. Although all of my internal organs are damaged from this technology, by causing the heart rate to beat rapidly, increasing the metabolism of the victim to dangerous levels, placing extreme stress and pressure on the blood vessels, the chambers of the heart, etc., at the point at which the victim suffers congestive heart failure, stroke, artificially induced heart disease, diabetes, whatever, some other disorder or disease, whatever disorder or disease he suffers because of this. That's an important metric in their training, research, and development for silent assassination of targets in ways that allow for greater degrees of indirection and plausible deniability. Yesterday I had a conflict with an American stalker, law enforcement, organized stalker. I didn't know what he was, one or the other. And as the conversation unfolded, he just flat out threatened to kill me. I mean, you know, there was a huge rain puddle, and it was pouring rain like it is right now. I don't know if you can see outside. It's pouring rain. Anyway, it was yesterday as well. And so what I did was I basically just tried to step back out of the rain puddle. And when I tried to step back out of the rain puddle, guess what? And then, you know, I stepped on his toe, and so he got pissed off and threatened to kill me. He said I was going to get killed. And that's all part of the game, these situational and conversational scenarios designed to provoke the victim constantly into emotional responses, which can be remotely measured and integrated back into R&M data. And so I just like it is right now today, it's pouring rain, you know, it was yesterday as well. And I just tried to step back out of the rain puddle, and he threatens to kill me. Well, I try to upload the video. I start recording. He sees me pull the smartphone out as I'm recording him. Quickly changes the story. I'm an American. I'm civilized. I would never do such a thing, you know. But the point at which I caught some of the conversation, you know, they deleted that part. Of course, they're 80 years ahead of this technology, so they can do anything they want and make it appear like it never happened. They want to delete part of a conversation on a video or audio. That's no problem for them. Okay, and you'll never know it because they're 80 years ahead of the technology on the market and 500 to 700 years ahead of the technology not available on the market. But the point is, they're targeting my heart. And I'm having to take a heart medicine. And I can barely breathe because of it. Like keeping my heart in a constant state of tachycardia. And so the doctors gave me beta blockers to try to slow down what they're doing. You know, you can't tell the doctors everything because if you do, they think you're crazy as hell. But I try telling them as much as possible. And I have told, you know, a couple of doctors, it's the CIA and the Department of Defense doing this. Whether they believe it or not, I don't know. I don't care. But the point is, here I am in Ecuador. And I woke up again this morning, same thing over and over. Very crucially important, the victim feel the slow kill. That's because trauma-based mind control is not just dependent upon some physical trauma, it's dependent upon psychological trauma. They're using psychological trauma, not just physical trauma, to map out the sensory and neural pathways of the victim's brain. Well, I'll try to post all that nonsense that happened yesterday before they altered the video on YouTube, and the game begins. It's called the hyper game theory. It's how they discredit the videos, how they discredit the victim, it's how they discredit the victim's complaints, make the victim appear delusional, crazy, etc. So now, YouTube won't let me post on my account. I can't upload any more torture videos of the CIA and DIA. Apparently people were starting to believe them. Hundreds and hundreds of people were tuning in. Almost 700 people had subscribed to my channel. So they needed to stop that, or at least, you know, discredit me in the process. I simply can't upload. I cannot upload to that as of today. I couldn't. And it's May 16, 2017. Well, they swore to kill me, and the constant death threats have been going on for years. It's not the first time. They've chased me with machetes and knives and other deadly weapons. They've beat me up and put me in the hospital. Beat me up so severely, they've damaged my spine even further. Putting me in the hospital multiple times. I mean, unbelievable. I've been in the hospital so many times, it's ridiculous. And because when you're in the hospital, they can control your anatomy, suddenly you don't have the heart problems anymore. They can slow down the heart. You know, they can control the autonomous systems of the body because they can control the brain. They've been trained the brain. They can train the heart. The digestive system and other autonomous regions can be controlled. Cardiovascular system, etc. So, well, it's just his imagination, you know, he's just, you know, psycho, and, you know, that's how the technology is designed to work. That's how you discredit the victim. Because if people believe these atrocities are occurring, then they have trouble. So it's constantly trauma, provoking the victim, like yesterday in the cafe with the organized stalker law enforcement. And that was a situational scenario and conversational scenario. They engage in these scripts, these situational and conversational scenarios constantly to constantly provoke the victim. to provoke the victim to emotional responses which can be generated into response statistics, and then once coherent patterns of thought are developed, integrated back into R&M data. So now I'm having to, download on new channels. Their perps have overrun my YouTube channel now. They've all subscribed to my YouTube channel, and they're flagging my videos so that, this is my personal YouTube channel. I'm not posting to communities or anybody else. It's just my channel. I should be able to post a video on there that's not offensive to anyone. They got terrorists chopping people's heads off, and they're not taking those off YouTube, but they're taking mine off YouTube that show that state that the video was altered when they threatened to kill me and yesterday in the cafe and again all that nonsense, that situational conversational scenario. So the technology is so sophisticated that they can do that. They can kill the victim in a way that appears ordinary, common, and expected to the casual observer. Well, he died of a heart attack or a stroke or congestive heart failure or some other disease or disorder, neurological disease, blood disease. No. That's how the technology is designed to work. They're killing me because I've become a liability to them. I'm traveling all over the world, China, Russia, and Cuba, and Ecuador, Nicaragua, countries that are indifferent and hostile to America. And they're watching and documenting everything, and they got to stop that. They got to stop that. So that's what they do is they call in their assassins or the Hive Mind Teams begin to target the victim's cardiovascular and human anatomy, and the victim's internal organs just can't sustain the damage. Eventually he dies a premature death. It's cold-blooded murder. And all of this is about training, research, and development. Worse than the Nazis ever were. And hundreds of thousands of victims alone in America alone are trauma-based mind control. Tens of millions are targeted with the technology. They've been spraying the nanotechnology into the hydrosphere for the last 25 years along storm patterns in the USA. The nanotechnology has filtered down into the water supply and the food chain. And now every man, woman, and child, even animals, plants, everything's infected with the nanotech. All the foods, if you eat, even tourists that visit America or eat American food products abroad, such as a Twix bar or Snickers or peanut butter or whatever, the nanotechnology is in their body. And they don't need to be close to you anymore like they used to. They can target you from thousands of miles away. They can activate this technology in your body from thousands of miles away. All they need to do is establish timing and location, which they can do with the nanotech. It's called the EEG heterodyne. This is Brian 2. Liverpool Law 3. Google Plus has now been suspended the day before I flew out for China from Laos. I've never been able to use it again. Now Liverpool Law 3 YouTube account, which has almost 700 subscribers, has also been blocked. And this is the game. It's a game designed not only to continually provoke the victim, but to discredit the victim constantly every day, so the victim appears delusional and crazy, discredited by the sheer brutality of the attacks. I mean, they're gaslighting, mobbing, organized stalking. They have all kinds of means to discredit the victim. But just the sheer brutality of the attacks alone are unbelievable. The technology is designed to be trauma-based mind control, to be brutal, precisely so no one will believe the atrocities are occurring. This is Brian 2 in Quito, Ecuador, May 16, 2017. Trying to get back to China. I just don't know which way I'm going.